Welcome back to Millenware KB. This video will take you through the vSphere Standalone 5.0 physical to virtual migration on a Windows Server 2008 host. So let's get started. So you right click on this tool, it's installed on the desktop as you can see, and run as administrator. And connect to a local server. So this brings up the client user interface. So you can see there's an option for convert machine. So you can click on that option and it's trying to find out the information of the source machine. There you go. So you can see the source details. So it finds out the name, then the total size, the disk. So you can see out here that I have a local partition, then I have an NTFS partition, and I have a FAT partition. The reason I've shown a FAT partition is to highlight that if you select this option, then the installation will fail because Windows 2008 does not support the FAT partitions. So please make sure that you uncheck this partition, and you can see as we proceed in the presentation. So select the source type. You see an option powered on machine, which is this host. You can also select if it is going to be a virtual to virtual migration, you would select this option, and then other third-party VMs, like you can see an option for Hyper-V servers. So in our case it's going to be this host, powered on machine, local machine. Next, so destination type, you can see if it's going to be a VMware infrastructure or VMware virtual machine. So it's going to be a VMware infrastructure virtual machine. And the IP address of the ESX host and the credentials. So login as root with root credentials. Click on next, and you can specify the name of the host machine. You can keep the same name. In our case, we can, or you can decide a different name for the virtual machine. So in our case, let's take it as test. You can see that test is already defined. I'm going to select a different name. It already selects the VMs which are running in this particular ESX 5.0 server. Click on next. So it finds out the available data stores. So this is a local data store. I've created a P2B data store, and I don't have enough free space, so I'm going to resize the volumes. The virtual machine version, so you can see version 7 and version 8. In case of 5.0 conversions, you select version 8. This option version 7 was for 4.x conversions, so you select version 8, which is by default. Click on next. So you can see that the source volume size is larger than the destination volume because I don't have enough space on the data stores. So I am going to modify these parameters. So you see an advanced tab here. You can select on the advanced tab, and you can see the source volume types here, NTFS and FAT32. Now if you select your FAT partition, it's going to fail the migration process when it reaches 1%. So please make sure that you deselect this partition and you can click on the destination layout. You can resize your volumes here, so you can see the size C colon. So I'm going to adjust it to the minimum space which is required. So moment I do that, you can see that it invokes file level cloning. And then there's an option for thick and thin cloning. Thick type, so if you want to keep the existing space, it's going to preserve the full space, and when you select thin, it's going to consume only the used space. So in case of a thin provisioned array, you can select the thin provisioned array. So you can decide those options here, thick and thin. And once you've done that, you can see the options, various options from this GUI. So click on the networks, it shows the network adapters. So it shows there are two NICs in this case. They're going to be connected to VM NIC and connected power on. You can also deselect the specific services which you want to disable. So you can choose to stop specific services if you want to. Then you also have an option in the post conversion to install VMware tools if you want to. And power on destination machine, you don't want to do that. You want to bring down the source machine first, and then plan for this powering on the destination machine. So once you have done the necessary changes, just click on next, and when you click on the next option, next, so you can see that I still don't have sufficient space on my data stored. So I'm going to go back and edit those settings again, and make sure that I'm just selecting the source machine. So this should hopefully take the error out. And as you can see, now it finds that it has enough space to migrate the volume. So it gives you a final screen to verify your implementation, and then you click on finish. So you can see it's submitting the job in the tool. So you have a task ID, the status, and the destination, the estimated time remaining, and once it gets started, it would also show you the transfer rate as to how it is progressing. If the installation fails on one person, make sure that you don't have any fat partitions. If you have any fat partitions, then please deselect them, as I had done in my case, and you can see that it's progressing now. So if you click on this task, you can see the percentage. It shows the estimated time running, it shows the transfer rate, and you can see that it is creating a snapshot and cloning the volume. So once the migration is completed, so let me log on to the ESX 5.0 host, and you can see that it has already starting this particular VM, and then you can power on your source machine, and then first thing you would do is install the VMware tools. It can be only installed when the VM is on. So this is another VM, and you see an option for install upgrade VMware tools. So please install the VMware tools once you power on the VM, and also edit the settings and make sure that you can see that this particular adapter is E1000. So once you install the VMware tools, you will see an option for VMXnet adapters. So when you click on next, so you have VMXnet 3 adapter, and you can select the VMXnet 3 adapter, and you can edit this new adapter, VMXnet 3 adapters, and then power on your VMs. So that brings an end to the installation of VMware Standalone Converter in a P2V migration on Windows 2008 host, and thank you for watching this video.